Hello everyone, welcome to my second class of pre-stressed concrete. In my last class I have given the introduction of pre-stressed concrete. In that video we have discussed what is pre-stressed concrete and how we are inducing the compressive stresses in the pre-stressed concrete. Okay, then we have learned some terminologies associated with the pre-stressed concrete. Okay, so moving further into the subject, today we will see the systems of pre-stressing. System of pre-stressing means it is a process, the actual process by which a pre-stressed concrete is made, or it is produced, or it is developed. Fine. So we have two systems of methods by which a pre-tensioning member can be, a pre-stressed member can be obtained. One is pre-tensioning, the other is post-tensioning. Pre-tensioning definition already I have given, that a tendon will be stretched before the actual concrete is poured in it. Tensioning is done before the concrete is poured in the member. So that is why it is called as pre-tensioning. Okay, so let me just go into the detail about this. In pre-tensioning system, the tendons are first tensioned. Already I gave you the definition. Okay, the tendons are first tensioned between rigid anchorage blocks. Between rigid anchorage blocks. This is the figure representing the pre-tensioning process of a beam. Okay, so here we are tensioning the tendons. Okay, between the rigid anchorage blocks. So these anchorage blocks are cast on ground on a unit type of pre-tensioning bed. So this is a bed. Unit type means you can manufacture single beam, single unit at a time. It can be a beam, it can be a pole, or it can be a pipe, but single. So on a unit type of pre-tensioning bed, there are two anchorages. Okay, and that anchor, in between those two anchorages, the tendons are first tensioned. Okay, first tension prior to the casting of concrete in the mold. Before the concreting is placed, before that only the tendon is tensioned. The tendon is tensioned. Okay, you can see there are two anchorage blocks. Fine. So this is the concrete bed. In the manufacturing industry of PSC, these beds will be, they will be having a permanent construction of these beds. So whenever they want to produce the beams, so what they will do is single, this is a unit type. I have already said it's a unit type pre-tensioned bed. So on this bed, this mold will be placed and the tendon will be straightened between these two anchorages. Right? Then it will be given pre-tensioning by means of a jack here. There is a hydraulic jack. Okay, that tendon is anchored to the tendon anchorage as well as to the jack. So through the jack you will tighten the tendon. Okay, you will tighten the tendon and you will introduce the pre-stress in the tendon before the concrete is placed. So first you will introduce the pre-stress through this jack. Then you will pour the concrete. Fine. So then casting of the concrete is done in that. The tendons comprising of wires. The tendon can be a single cable or it can be a group of wires or strands. Strands means very thin wires. Okay, so the tendons comprising of wires or strands are stretched. They are stretched with constant or variable eccentricity with the tendon anchorage. So this is the tendon anchorage. You can see. So now you can see I am just running it. I have drawn a figure with the tendon like this. So there is no eccentricity here. Right? So if you are maintaining some eccentricity, then the cable will come like this. Okay, so with constant or variable eccentricity with the tendon anchorage. When tendon anchorage is this one, okay, so if this is the center of the tendon, if your tendon this is the center of the beam, if tendon is placed along this line, then eccentricity is 0. Okay, there is no eccentricity. But if you are placing the tendon at some eccentricity, uniform eccentricity, then that will be called as constant eccentricity. Sometimes the tendon will be placed with varying eccentricity. Somewhere may weigh more, somewhere less. Right? So that is what the tendons comprising of either wires or strands, they will be bundled. There will be bunch of wires, thin wires. They will be stretched with either constant or varying eccentricity or variable eccentricity with tendon anchorages. So these are the ways you can give the pre-stress, either with constant eccentricity or with varying eccentricity. But in pre-tensioning, the cable will be anchored in between these two anchorages. It will be tensioned or it will be given pre-stress by the hydraulic jack. Then concreting will be placed. So this is basically the overall, in short, the story of pre-tensioning. Okay. So coming back, okay. So it is fixed to the these wires or the strands, they are fixed to the tendon anchorage at one end, already I said, and at the other end jack, already I have explained. At the other end it is fixed to the jack. Now the form, this is the form, or you can say the case. Okay, the form will be in place. Concrete is placed around the stretched tendon. So once tendon is stretched using the hydraulic jack, then concreting will be placed. Concrete will be placed. Okay, then we are using high early strength concrete here. High early strength concrete. This is most oftenly we are using high strength concrete in the manufacturing of pre-stressed members. Okay, high early strength concrete is often used to facilitate early stripping, right? Because production should be continuous. We cannot use an ordinary. First of all, if it's a pre-stressed concrete, we are going to use high strength concrete. Now I am using another terminology, high early strength concrete. So the concrete should gain strength early. It should not wait for its maturity. So high early strength concrete is used in pre-stressed members, right? Why? To facilitate early stripping, so that once pre-stressing is transferred, we can remove the mold and we can reuse the mold. Okay, so that is why we are using high early strength concrete to facilitate early stripping and reuse of molds. Fine. So this is how we are making use of the molds again and again. So remember, this is a setup for a single bed. We are going to manufacture only one unit. It can be a pipe, it can be a beam, or it can be pole, pre-stressed pole, right? So this is a unit type manufacturing system which I have given you one example. We are using high early strength concrete so that we can strip it off, we can unmold the beam, then we can reuse it. Okay, when the concrete attains sufficient strength, yes, this also I have already said, when the concrete attains sufficient strength, the jacking pressure is released. Okay, there will be jack, the jacking pressure will be released. Once the concrete gets the strength, it hardens, then jacking pressure will be released. The wires are high tensile wires. So as soon as the jacking pressure is released, these high tensile wires shorten. They reduce. You can imagine you have just tied one rope, one wire one side, fixed one side. The other side you have given some pressure. After some time you are cutting it off. Then that wire will try to come close to each other. So that is what I am saying here. Once the jack is released, the high tensile wire will tend to shorten. But this shortening is checked by the bond between concrete and steel. So when I give in the explanation, definition of pre-tensioning, I have said in this pre-tensioning method, the pre-stress is imparted from the steel to the concrete by the bond between concrete and steel. So this is how the shortening of the bar is checked by the bond between concrete and steel. So in this way, the pre-stress is transferred to the concrete from the steel by the bond. Mostly that bond will be near the ends of the beam. The transfer will be near the ends of the beam. Okay. For mass production, Okay, this is how we can produce a single beam. Okay, so now with each time you are casting one beam, it will take lot of time, right? So if you have a visit at the precast industries, you will be seeing it will be mass production, right? So for mass production of pre-tensioned elements, I am not saying beam, pre-tensioned elements, it can be a pipe, it can be a pole, or it can be a beam, or it can be a slab. For mass production of pre-tensioned elements, the long line process developed by Hoyer is used. Fine. So what is this? We will see it now. Long line process developed by Hoyer. So it is almost the same what I have said. I have discussed a unit bed. Okay. So instead of a unit bed, we will have a series of beds. Okay. A series of molds. I'll just draw the figure and I'll show you. Methodology is same because this is pre-tensioning only. Only the thing is that we are going for mass production of pre-tensioned elements. Now, when we want mass production of pre-tensioned elements, then we are going to use long line process that is developed by Hoyer. Okay, so he has patented this method. So you can see the drawing on the board. It is similar to the one which I have explained. The only difference is this is a unit type. Only a single element will be manufactured, or it can be developed. But here you can see a series of pre-tensioned elements can be manufactured. The production can be done. Right, so this is similar what I have shown you there. So but still let me explain. In this method, the tendon are stretched between the two blocks. They are called as anchorage blocks. Okay, they are two bulk heads, or you can just simply say anchorage blocks. These two blocks are several 100 meters away. Okay, on the board I have just shown you, but really on the manufacturing unit or in the industry, they will be running several 100 meters away, these two blocks. Okay, in this the tendon is stretched between these two bulk heads which are several 100 meters apart, so that a similar unit, same pre-stressed, same cross section, same pre-stressed force, so similar unit may be cast along the same group of tension wires. So same pre-tensioning, same size. So when we want to produce, when the production we want in mass, then we go for this long line method, because they are in a line. Okay, they are in a line, it is called as long line method. The tension is same, in the same way, the one end of the tendon is anchored to the block, the other end is anchored to the other anchorage block. Then it is continued to the jack. Okay, so the tension is applied by hydraulic jack or a movable stressing machine. Okay, you can use hydraulic jack or a movable stressing machine. Okay, this is also a type of pre-stress inducing machine. Okay, so by these two systems you can just impart the tension to the tendon, right? So the tendons when tensioned, these tendons when they got tension, then they will be anchored to these abutments by wedges. Once tensioning is completed, it will be anchored so that they don't lose out. Okay, the tensioning whatever has done, it should not go back to the original position. For that, those ends of the tensioning tendons will be anchored to the abutments by steel wedges. Okay, so some sort of steel fixing you can say. So it will be fixed to the abutments. Okay, then the transfer of pre-stress to concrete is achieved. How? By screw jack. You are going to transfer whatever tension you have introduced in the cable or in the tendon, it will be transferred to the concrete by screw jack. So by which all the tendons are simultaneously released. So once this is transferred to the concrete, all the tendons will be simultaneously one simultaneously they will be released after the concrete attains the required compressive strength. Okay, similar to a unit type. This is also same, but here same wire is running, same tendon is running over 100 meters, right? So what you do is, this is a one mold, this is a one mold, this is a one mold. The tendon is running from this anchorage, it is fixed here, so it will run across these stressing elements and it will be fixed to the other abutment. Okay, so tension is transferred from the steel to the concrete by jack. So once pretension is transferred to the concrete, okay, so once the concrete attains its required compressive strength, then the bars will be cut. Okay, so they'll remove it as a single unit. Fine. Again same concept. Once you cut it, the tendon will try to shorten, but that will be resisted by the bond between the concrete and steel, which is transferring the pre-stress. So this is the Hoyer's long line method. This is used for mass production of pre-stressed elements. Okay. The second type of system of pre-stressing or pre-stressing system is post-tensioning system. So in my last video, again I have given you what post-tensioning system means. Okay, I repeat the same thing. This is a method of pre-stressing the concrete where the tendons are tensioned against an hardened concrete. First concrete is allowed to harden, then the tendons will be tensioned, right? So that was the definition of post-tensioning. So how it is done? Let us see how it is done. So in post-tensioning, the concrete units are first cast. They are first cast. Concrete beams are first cast like this. Okay, suppose this is a beam, or I can say it's a beam mold. Okay, so first concreting will be done. Only concreting. In post-tensioning method, tendons are tensioned against the hardened concrete. So the concrete is allowed to harden. Okay, once concrete is hardened, when we cast this concrete beam, a groove is allowed here. A groove. Okay, groove means a narrow passage like thing. Okay, a groove or a duct is allowed to house the tendons. So in this groove we are going to place the tendons, right? So first a concrete beam is cast with a groove or a duct to house the tendons, right? When the concrete attains sufficient strength, okay, the high tensile wires are tensioned by means of jack bearing on the end face of the member. So on this, what you do is, once it is hardened, this groove will be there, open duct will be there, in this wires will be introduced, a hole will be there here. Okay, so through this the wire will be placed inside it. The wires will be placed in this groove. Okay, then these are tension by means of jack bearing. Here some with the help of what you call wedges or nuts, it will be fixed, right? Then they are tension by means of jack bearing on the end face. So here there will be a jack bearing, we will fix it. Okay, then tension it will be tensioned. The wires, high tensile wires will be tensioned, okay, by jack bearing on the end face of the member. Then once that is done, you will anchor those wires, high tensile wires, using wedges or nuts. So what happens is, the force has to be transferred. Pre-stressing mein, the force has to be transferred from the steel to the concrete. The forces will be transmitted to the concrete by means of these end anchorages. That is what I said, in the method of post-tensioning, the stress will be transferred from the steel to concrete by bearing, because those high tensile wires are placed inside the bearing. So bearing will transfer the stress from concrete to the steel. Okay, so this is how the tension pre-stress will be introduced in the post-tension member. So whatever space is allowed, whatever space is left over between the duct and the tendon, when you are placing the tendon, some amount of void will be there, because it is not exactly the size of the duct which you are going to insert inside the wire. The wires will be of some other diameter and the groove will be some other diameter. So whatever the space is left over, that space between the tendon and the duct is generally grouted. Grouted means a slurry of cement paste will be injected with some pressure. Okay, so that gap, this gap you can see, this gap will be filled by grouting after the tensioning operation. So in this, the pretension is imparted by the bearing, by means of the end anchorages or by means of bearing. Okay, so number of system of post tensioning is available. Number of system of post tensioning is available. Each is protected by patent rights. Many are there, n number of are there. So they are protected by means of they have protected it by patenting it. Okay, so some commonly followed system of post tensioning are, the most common which we use are Freyssinet system, Magnell Bleton system, Gifford-Udall system and Lee-McCall system. Pretensioning is very simple. I have already shown you a single unit pretensioning method also and a mass production also I have shown you. In post tensioning, this is how first a concrete block will be made. In that a groove will be left over, a duct will be there. In that duct high tensile wires will be inserted and those will be anchored by wedges or nuts, and then forces will be transferred by jack bearing on the end fast mask. The force will be transferred by means of end bearing. Okay, so these are the common methods or common system of post tensioning. Fine. So this is the system of pre-stressing. Now after the systems of pre-stressing, we will see the applications of pre-tensioning and the application of post-tensioning, where we are going to majorly use the pre-tensioning and where we are going to employ the post-tensioning method of pre-stressing, right? So as you know, pre-tensioning means it will be done in the industries, that is to in mass production, right? So this method will be economically adopted in mass production in factories. Okay, where they will manufacture pre-tension elements of limited size. You want a beam, you want a wall, you want a slab, some limited size pre-tension elements will be manufactured and mass production in the factories. So we go for such type of pre-tensioning elements in such cases. Okay, because if you pre-tension large size elements, large like span is too big, then transportation becomes expensive and it will be difficult to handle. Accident may occur while transporting, right? So that is why pre-tensioning is limited to smaller size elements and mostly then manufactured in the industries or in the industries or factories. Fine. So they are highly transportation of large size pre-tension elements are highly expensive and may be practically impossible if the member is too large, because we need very big trailers, trolleys to take those pre-tensioned elements to the site. So these are manufactured for small limited sizes only. Coming to the application of post-tensioning. Post-tensioning application is medium to long span in situ work. Okay, so this is in situ work. Post-tensioning is done on the site. The two for medium and large spans, metro rail, big bridges, slabs, all these are done on the site. Fine. So application is medium to long span in situ work and may be used for large members, for fabrication of large members. Post-tensioning system can be adopted for production of or for making of large members such as long span bridge decks of box girder type. We might have come across the box girder type bridges. There we need deck slabs, okay, bridge deck slabs, large span. So we may go for post tensioning. There only on the site it will be manufactured, or it will be prepared, and it will be post tensioned, and then that can be used on the site because transportation is difficult, right? Then old dams are there. If you want to strengthen those concrete dams, then you can go for post tensioning. That is because post tensioning means a groove or a duct will be made, in that the wires will be placed and then it will be tensioned. So if you want to strengthen the existing dams, then you can go for post tensioning method. Then for circular pre-stressing of large concrete tanks, most of the tanks, large diameter tanks, they are nowadays going for pre-stress. So that is also you can adopt post tensioning system. And also post tensioning can be adopted for the biological shields of nuclear reactors. Okay, so these are the application. When you want the work to be done on the site, when the span is too big, then you can go for post tensioning pre-stressing system. When we want limited size members or limited size pre-tension elements, then you can go for pre-tensioning method. Okay, so in my next video I will be solving problems for analysis of pre-stress and bending stresses. So do watch my upcoming videos.